You told me before that you're actually from Uganda, right?
My parents are from there. I've never been there. I hope to go soon. But yeah, my parents are both first generation, like Afro-Canadian, so to speak. They immigrated over here in like the early 80s, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dope. So, but you were born here?
Yeah, Victoria, BC.
Oh, nice.
Which I also haven't been to before. I've never been there. Like, I was born there and then we moved to Alberta. I lived in Edmonton for like 5 years and then moved to Calgary. So I'm pretty much Calgarian as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
but, yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And
African roots. Yeah.
and I was going through some of your videos online and I noticed you played the drums.
Yeah.
Did you pick that up from like your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Like the African drums, did you pick that up from, or where did you pick that up from?
My mom, she, like, again, as a kid, she just saw that I was really into, like, music and performing and dancing and singing. And she's really also into the arts. Like, she encouraged us and, like, taught us different, like, folk theater thing, like African theater and folk music and stuff. So, like, playing instruments was something that we did as a family. And when I was like 8, she bought me this drum. She went to Africa and came back with like this kit of drums. And like my brother had one, I had one, she had like 4. And then we just like collected drums as we like performed around the city and like around Canada, actually, like all over the place. And we just, it was like a big thing. Like, you know, some kids have like soccer or hockey. Like our thing was music.
Music, nice.
Yeah.
Like a musical family.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we just were like on stage a lot.
Did your mom, she played the drums as well?
Yeah, she taught me, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So did that kind of cross over into like you getting into drum and bass?
Yes.
From kind of your, learning from the drums and then...
I think so. And it's funny because I feel like it was kind of a weird transition. Like no one else in my family really understood that, I don't think, when I started to really explore like that style of music. They didn't understand the correlation, and I'm like, how do you not get the correlation? To me, they're so they go together in such a complementary way.
Well, it's like it's a completely different style, right?
It is, yeah. It's like one is very like technology driven. Like drum and bass is very much about like synthesizers and drum machines and shit, and it's not as organic, I guess, as like a drum, like an African drum or whatever. So, but for me, it's all like percussion, and like that's what really like stuck with me about playing the drums. When my mom taught me, I was like, I love the percussive element, and there's something just like raw about like a drum pattern.
And like percussion, right?
Yeah.
Well, don't they say that like African people are people of the drum?
I think so. I feel like that's...
Am I out of pocket by saying that? Or?
I don't think so. I love that. I feel like that's part of my identity. Is I'm like, yeah, part of my identity as an African is someone who's very musically inclined, I guess, or like that's a big part of the culture for like in my family it was and still is, right? So I think it's an honor to have people see it that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
So what got you into like drum and bass? What was the first song? What was the first that got you into drum and bass? Like, now I'm not the expert on drum and bass at all.
That's fair.
So, like, you got to put me up on game.
I don't think I'm an expert either. The more that I explore it, the more I realize I'm not an expert on it at all. Like, it's funny, for a long time I was like, I know everything there is to know about this stuff. Like, just find something you groove to, like hip hop, and you just like, it becomes your life, right?
Yes.
But I learned from I had a lot of mentors in that scene who taught me that I didn't know shit, and there's always more to learn in terms of like what records are classics and which ones are like, you know what I mean? Like stuff that's coming out that's new. My first, I don't know about like a first track. Man, I don't know. I'd have to say something off like Metalheads, because that's a huge record label that they've been pushing shit for years and years. I think they're one of the, the mainstay labels in that game. And I don't know, I was listening to CJSW a lot.
Oh, shouts out.
Yes, shouts out to CJSW. And there was just like all kinds of like really esoteric programming on that radio station, so you could tune in and hear like house and techno and jungle and everything, like, you know what I mean, all throughout the week. So I was just like so fascinated, and I just really delved in like as a teenager.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I saw that you're also involved with the DnB Girls. Who are the DnB Girls, and how did you get involved with them?
DnB Girls is like a collective of musicians and artists on the DnB scene, mostly all femme, like all female identifying women who produce and DJ and MC. And it's North American based, and I think there might be like just pockets of like, we have, you know, just different collectives that we communicate with and collaborate with around the world, but it's like a North American based collective. So there's like a crew of girls in the States and a crew of us here in Canada. And
oh wow, so it's big.
It's big. It's a big deal. Yeah, like for me, like I grew up kind of like hearing about the DnB Girls and being like, yeah, one day I'd love to get in on that shit. You know what I mean? That would be dope. So to be a part of it now is like, it's huge. It's huge.
And I saw you did like some performances with them. You went out to, it was either like a festival or like some sort of event.
Oh, there was AMCON.
Yeah, what is that?
It's the Alberta Electronic Music Conference.
Okay.
So it's, I can't remember how long it lasts for. I think it lasts for like a week every year. And yeah, it's just an opportunity to get really upfront with like music industry professionals.
Yes.
And yeah, like I met somebody from SoCan when I was there. There's a bunch of producers that give lectures and like workshops on like just basic production stuff, more advanced production stuff, and just DJing, you know, education. Like it's just a dope like conference. Like I was so excited to be a part of it. Like I geek out on that stuff. I'd love to get to producing eventually. So I was geeked to get to attend that and then perform too. Like I feel like we represent Western Canada, you know, as a collective, as a DnB Girls, and for me to be like a part of that it's a big like responsibility, but I take great pride in it for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I noticed like on the video that you posted on YouTube, like I could just tell from your vibe through the video that it was like, okay, this woman's gone through some like training in the industry.
Hey, okay.
You know what I mean? Just the way that you were presenting yourself.
Cool.
And I was like, okay. Do you know what I mean? It was a different vibe.
Good.
And I like that. So it was like, okay, this person is starting to get educated on what's going on. You know what I mean? So I fuck with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on it for a minute. Like, I felt like it was a long process to be able to get to a level where that was a possibility for me to attend that conference, right? So, yeah, I'm glad you feel that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you put out 2 projects with Aversive.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The Neptune project.
Yeah,
part
parts
1
and
and 2.
part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there was a difference from the songs that you put out by yourself and the songs that you put out with Aversive. I was like, wow, this, for some reason when you collab with at least from me, like my perspective, when you collab with other people, I fuck with it a lot more.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, that's good to hear, because collaborating has always been like a big part of it for me. I don't feel like any independent artist can get very far without having other artists to collaborate with, to be honest with you. And even when I'm working alone, like in my bedroom, I'm like, I would love to have like other people's feedback and other people's input in terms of how to make what I'm doing better, or whatever my ideas are. Like, how do I like craft them into like something that's really beautiful? I'm glad that you feel that way about it, for sure.
And maybe it's because like when you're maybe in a studio with somebody else, like they're kind of pushing you and you're pushing them.
Yep. Yeah, it's a mutual thing, right? It was dope working with her, because she was just like, again, really relaxed, and she's just like, you have like an open floor, like put out whatever you want to say, like lyrically, quote, like whatever. And she's also like a really talented producer. Like,
So she is Aversive.
yes. Yeah, I've heard a bunch of other stuff that she produced, and I was like, okay, I'd like to work with somebody who has studied production that much, you know, and really gets it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Dope. Cool. So I want to play one of the tracks off the project.
Okay.
Probably my favorite track off the project.
Ooh, okay.
And I want to play it. You guys will be able to hear a clip of it over the video. We'll put a link in the description for the song, so you guys can check it out, stream it on Tidal, so we can get them streams up. You know what I mean? And
right.
yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. better. Like even pronunciation wise, you were saying like everything's so like nicely pronounced, and I'm like, that's good feedback, but I feel like it could still be better. Like certain words, I'm like, oh, I have a tendency to like really be like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, certain things I'm just like, I could pronounce that better and like just really enunciate and like clarify the message even, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you go back and you're like, oh, lyrically I could have like structured it differently so it was just like more powerful, you know? But
how do you go, like, are you always that critical of yourself?
yeah, I mean,